Hi everyone and welcome to Nonsense Whisky. My name is PF and this is the 4th episode in a little mini series I'm doing about American whiskey. So far we've had 2 bourbons from Kentucky, then we nipped up north, up to Chicago, just north of Chicago, and now we're straight back down to Kentucky. Got a few other things in the mix in the future, so obviously don't forget to subscribe and you'll catch some more American whiskies. But for now, we're going to be talking about a real monster. Previously on the channel I've covered a William LaRue Weller, the 2015, and now we're going back to the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection for the George T Stagg. Now this one here in particular is the 2014, which is a real high ABV, 69.05, and it's meant to be quite highly awarded. There's a couple of brands that go around. If you're not sure what the BTACs are, the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection, I'm sure you are if you're into the American whiskies, but still, for the newbies, just like myself, they have 5 brands that they release. They have the William LaRue Weller, the George T Stagg, the Sazerac Rye, the Thomas H. Handy Sazerac, and the Eagle Rare. And they handpick these awesome barrels and uncut, unfiltered, and release them once a year as a set of 5, and they're really hard to get hold of. In the UK we have lotteries on them, various websites, whatever, and you go on there and you can maybe get a sample, maybe not. Very hard to get hold of. Some websites only get 1 or 2 bottles and there's thousands of people that enter them, but still, and they're about sort of 100, 120 pounds when they're kind of new. And after that, you just forget about it, because on the secondary market they go off into the lofty heights. I have literally no idea how much this is. I didn't even want to look because it just makes me sad. So let's get back to this guy himself. So this is the George T Stagg 2014 release. I was kindly given a sample of this by a good whiskey YouTube friend of mine who's called Rich Allen. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He's on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, but he's got excellent knowledge and got a lot of good drams, so feel free to subscribe to his channel so you'll be first to see when he kicks his stuff up again. You know, as we know, it's Kentucky bourbon, and that obviously means natural colour. 16 years and sort of 4 months this has been in the barrel. To be fair, that reminds me, because this is so premium, I wanted to show you guys something. This is the letter that you get if you buy this thing, so I'm just going to wrong side of the camera over here. Check this out, if you can see that. It tells you everything, tells you when it was distilled, where it was, the cook temperatures, everything. It's incredible. You can find this online. Kind of breaking the 4th or 5th wall there, but never mind. But yeah, look that up online, it's readily available. You can see just what they put in it. It doesn't go into the precise mash bill, but it tells you that it's even what kind of corn they use, what kind of rye, and what kind of malted barley. Pretty incredible stuff. That's just a really nice touch that I think the Scottish market can learn from. They're a bit secretive about it, which is really weird because a lot of Scotch tastes quite similar to each other because it's all barley. Anyway, moving on. So, as I said, this is uncut, unfiltered, which means it's really high ABV. I mean, it's only like, what is it, 0.95 away from being 70% ABV, which is quite alcoholic. So I've left this sat out on the side here for a bit. Some say a minute for every year. I don't really subscribe to that, I just kind of do whatever. So let's have a sniff. Now I should say this is one of those ones, because it's so strong, you really want to avoid putting your nose straight in the glass. Now you'll see some people, everyone does things differently, some people swill it around, whatever. I don't care about anything like that. This is just a bit of advice for you. If you're trying this for the first time, and especially if you've not had any drams that night, and you put your nose straight in this, it's going to burn your nose hairs off because it's real strong. Personally, for cask strength, I prefer wetting my whistle with something else. So a good example today, you may have seen my previous video, which was the Few Rye. I recorded that actually about 5, 10, 15 minutes ago. So yeah, there you go. So onto this, just slightly round the edge. And actually something I like to do is smell from the top edge of the glass as well. Now, you should try this at home because it really does give an ever so slightly different flavour profile on the nose. The lighter kind of more floaty notes, let's say, end up here, down here. And you don't get that with a Glencairn. That focuses all into one go, which for judging might be a good thing, but for really picking things apart, really slowly picking things apart, I think a wide old aperture is the way forward. Wow, I mean, obviously wood. It's been in wood a long time. It's a hot place as well, Kentucky, so it's, I mean, there's not many scotches I've had sub sort of 20 years, 16 years, sub 20 years that are this complex. It's probably akin to stuff that's more like 30 years in the old chilly climate of Scotland. But it's just, there's just so much going on. It's so rich. Like that subtle smoothness that you get from the corn that we've spoke about before. Let's go in for a taste and see what we get. Oh, yeah, that's hot. I mean, that's like real. I've got a couple of cast strengths. I haven't covered them on the channel yet, but I will. In fact, this is very similar to the William LaRue Weller I tried back in January. Should I go and have a look at that? A little more spicier. I'm not sure what rye content is, but for me, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's a bit higher rye. Going by the ryes I've had, this gives that kind of that spicy little flavouring that you don't get from really high corn. But yeah, I mean that's got a real kick to it. That has. I'm not even in a bad way. There's a couple of guys out there that are really trying hard to convince me to add water to things. And you know what? Genuinely, if I had a full bottle of this, I would give water a go. But I was sent one of these little, it's an X, drinks by the dram, 3 sil. I'm not wasting that by putting water in it. No, no, no. Woo! That is one to share with friends after several other drams, build up to it, really end the night on a real high, and you don't need a lot of it either. Just a touch, just a little sample, and you're away. But that is sublime, which is a real shame. I feel like I'll never try that again because there'll be such a few bottles left now, and anyone's that are, they're just, I'm not going to look at them because they've got to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds by now. But if you've got a bottle of this, I would love to know what you think, especially if you've tried the other ones, because this is my first George T Stagg I've ever tried. I've never tried any of the other releases either. I try every year to try and get a bottle. I've never won a bottle. Hopefully this year will be different. We'll see. There you go. Finished on air. Often I'll edit while I'm drinking the rest of it. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching the video. As always, like, comment, subscribe. You'll probably see some symbols coming up soon. There's a subscribe button probably coming up around here. Click on one of these other ones here, will take you to the start of the playlist I'm creating for the American whiskies, and the other one will eventually show the next episode in the series. If you're watching this just after release, that will probably show something else. But if you're watching weeks, years, months in the future, then this will be the next episode. So do feel free to move on to the next one and enjoy more whiskey.